Okay, so we're gonna work over our first packet of kickboxing techniques that you guys can work on at home. A lot of you have seen this before, but this is a great opportunity to focus on each move here that I'm about to show you in a little bit more detail than we typically normally get to do in class. We're gonna start in our fighting stance. So this packet of footwork that we're about to go over, it's very important that I'm in good fighting stance the whole time. That's the whole point of good footwork, is being able to be mobile while in a good fighting stance. So what that looks like is my feet and weight evenly distributed. Okay, I'm not leaning forward, I'm not leaning backwards. I'm bending my knees to lower my center of gravity slightly. I keep my rear heel off the ground to be more active in terms of mobility. My hands come up, chin level, my elbows come down. My chin also comes down behind my shoulders. So if you can see, my chin is poked out, my chest's not out, my hands aren't back, and my chin's not in the air. I'm hiding my chin behind my shoulders and my chest with my hands elevated to protect myself. So now that we're in good fighting stance, we're gonna go over this whole packet, and then I'll break down each individual piece. So here's what it looks like. Advance, retreat, left, right, half circle to the right, half circle to the left, back to the center, switch, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, right knee, right elbow, left elbow, right kick, left kick, cover left, cover right, double cover, leg shield, sprawl, scramble. Advance, retreat, left, right, half circle to the right, half circle to the left, back to the center, switch, jab, cross, hook, uppercut, right knee, right elbow, right kick, left kick, cover left, cover right, double cover, leg shield, sprawl, scramble. Okay, so we'll break down just a few of the finer details when we go through this. All right, advance, retreat, left, right, half circle to the right, half circle to the left, back to the center. It's always important I finish in good fighting stance. It's easy to move and then take yourself out of good fighting stance when you move to your next destination. So whatever I do, when I move with my first foot, I have to make sure that second foot doesn't come up too close, doesn't stay too wide, doesn't get myself on a line. It stays in good fighting stance the whole time, okay? Now we're at the switch, okay? A little bit of a detail on the switch that a lot of people miss. When I hit my switch, I keep my left shoulder actually forward, okay? I keep my left shoulder forward and I turn my rear foot to the side. So what that looks like facing you guys is I switch and I go here. This is what it will look like if I let my shoulder fall behind me. If I switch, notice how I've completely changed my leads and I'm now in a southpaw stance with my right, basically a fighting stance with my right lead. Okay, so when you guys are doing your switch, my hands are up and I'll switch my feet. My right foot toes will turn to the side, my left shoulder stays in front like this, okay? This is gonna start allowing us to start throwing this lead kick with some power, okay? If I was to just lean up and start trying to extend my leg here, there's really no power behind that. But if I can chamber my hip in the back, now I can come through with my lead leg as I would with all the power that my rear leg has. Okay, punching. Right? Hands are up the whole time. That's something that we say in here more than anything else. When I punch, I'm using as much defense as possible, even on my offensive maneuvers. If you'll notice, good punches look like this, okay? Where I'm obviously protecting the side of my face with my hand, but on the side that the punch is out, notice, you cannot see my chin. My shoulder is covering this side of my face while this hand is out, okay? Same thing here, okay? Same thing on the hook. Same thing on the uppercut, right? This is unacceptable. Okay, that's nonsense. We got to make sure we're rotating these hands with as much defense as possible. Good. Elbows. I make sure I cover first. If I'm close enough to hit somebody with an elbow, look, I mean, that's only about a foot away from my face. I have to make sure, again, defense first as a priority, then into my offense. So I cover, single cover, okay, it's coming up, into a rear elbow. I cover with my rear hand and throw my lead elbow. Notice, so it's kind of a little peekaboo game that I'm playing with these elbows. And it doesn't take a giant range of motion, right? I don't need to go all the way like this. Those elbows will hurt somebody, even if you tap them lightly. Okay, nice and covered. Next one, my knees. It's important that my hips draw through on my knees. I don't want to keep my hips back and start throwing my knees like this. So if you notice, okay, there's not enough range of motion on that. Without range of motion, there's no power. So if you watch me from the side, I'm gonna throw that knee and look, my hip drives forward with my knee. So I'm going through all the way. Same thing, now we'll use that switch that we did before to load that hip, and I'll come through. Don't throw your hands down, even though it feels like you need them to balance, but this completely exposes your face to your opponent's offense. So we wanna keep our hands up, drive with those hips, boom, and drive those knees into that midsection. Now we're on to kicks. Why are we spinning around? This is a big issue with a lot of people's technique in their kicks, is that full rotation. Why not just kick and then drop? Well, as soon as I drop, notice I'm on a line. That poses problems to all the stuff that we talked about in the footwork. Somebody could easily kick my leg as it's presented this way, and I'm trying to rotate it back. I'm also not generating enough power on my kicks by just having the mindset of it's just gonna stop right here and then be done. If I have the mindset of I'm gonna chop through this person with my leg, it's gonna add much more power onto your kick. So when we kick somebody, we need to think there's no point of contact, that we're gonna kick so hard it's gonna rotate our body all the way around. Watch the footwork to stay on good balance. Okay, I kick all the way through, either to the leg, above the knee, to the body and the floating ribs, or the neck and the head area. Those are my three targets when I'm throwing these round kicks. Okay, same thing, watch the switch, chamber the hip back, but the left shoulder stays in front. I kick all the way through. And I do lose a little bit of eye contact on my opponent. So what I wanna do is make sure as I complete my turn, I'm well guarded. Okay, I'm well guarded with my hands, and just in case, I'm well guarded with a leg shield here too. That brings us into covering. Okay, so cover. Just because I do cover left doesn't mean this hand can come down. Okay, I need this hand up, but I am aware and reacting to their strikes on their right hand. So my left hand comes up, same idea, boom. Make sure you're not doing this. Unacceptable. Double cover, very easy. It's kind of the oh no mode defense. My hands come up and the cover right here. Pretty simple. I don't have to be stationary. I can move with my double covers, but it's also not good to fight from double covers. Okay? Don't just fight your opponent like this. There's very little offense that you can do from there. And it's very easy to take punches from this position. Even though I'm guarding with my arms, I'm still getting hit. Something that we don't want to have happen. Okay, leg shield. Bam, one of the targets that we were talking about was that leg. I'm tired of getting that chopped down. That gets real old real fast. I want to turn my knee out, flex whatever muscle is on the shin, and I want their kick to land right about these 4 inches underneath my knee. Okay, it's a lot stronger up here. We're not trying to go shin to shin. That's gonna be kind of a 50-50 thing. But if I can get them to kick right under my knee on that part, they're gonna think twice about throwing that other kick again. Again, always have your hands up. If I'm leg shielding, I might misjudge something and some attack could come up. So it's not just leg shield and I'm invincible. Have good coverage with your hands, leg shield, eyes open, tracking your opponent's strikes where they're going. Sprawls, boom. They get in on a double leg, right? A double leg takedown where they just tackle us. They're gonna do this football tackle style on our hips. It's gonna drive our hips backwards. It's gonna pull our legs underneath them, and it's gonna take us down to the ground. All right. So as soon as we understand that they're coming in on this tackle takedown, right? I throw my hips backwards. Okay, my chest leans on top of my opponent and then my legs shoot backwards and preventing them from really pulling my hips from underneath and my legs from underneath me. Okay, once we're on the ground, we're sprawled on top of them, they should be like flattened out. So we want to take that back immediately. So boom, I'm moving here and I'm coming from behind. Either I can stand up or I can start doing my jiu-jitsu from that. All right. That'll be our work for today. We'll start breaking down new techniques for kickboxing on Thursday.